Hi, and welcome back to my spiritual corner. Thank you so much for listening on a podcast or like Spotify or Apple Podcast, or thank you for watching on YouTube. I record, so I both post it on YouTube and on different podcast platforms. So thank you so much anyway, no matter how you're watching or listening to this. Um, it means a lot to me. My name is Ragna, and I'm a Norwegian solitary witch, writer, spiritual teacher, and tarot reader. And today I am going to talk about how you can have a daily spiritual practice. The episode is called How to Have a Daily Spiritual Practice. And I realized when I started making some notes on this, what I was going to talk about in this episode, that okay, this could be a whole series with suggestions on how you can have a spiritual practice. So please send me, like, if you have any questions or any specific things you want to know about spiritual practice, just let me know. Because I thought, okay, in this episode, I will give my suggestions on what I think is the best daily spiritual practice and how I do it. That doesn't mean that it necessarily is the perfect spiritual practice for you, but I'm going to talk about what works for me. So, and how I wield my spiritual practice and honor my soul and my spirituality on a daily basis. And also, I'm going to give some tips on how you can wield your um, spiritual practice in moments when life is stressful or difficult or you're in different challenges. So, life happens. This human experience is not only play and fun. So, and before I start, please know that you can send me questions on the email address podcast at ragnaspiritualcorner.com with requests on free tarot reading, or if you want me to talk about any specific spiritual themes or any questions about spiritual practice. I am saving up some questions about spiritual practice and spiritual themes to a Q&A. So please just send me questions, and I will have an episode in not in a couple of weeks actually. So next week I'm going to talk about Beltane, which is this next Sabbath on the wheel of the year. So, but I think on the episode after that I'm going to have a Q&A episode. So please just send me questions. And today, after I talked about how you can have your daily spiritual practice, I'm going to give Heidi Venli a mini tarot reading. So just hold on till the end. And please know you can send me questions and requests for this free tarot reading. I give a free tarot reading in every episode. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, what is a daily spiritual practice? Maybe you who listen just don't know what the I'm talking about. Okay, what is a spiritual practice? So, with spiritual practice, it's something you do daily, some kind of activity or ritual that you do to honor your spirituality, something that lifts up your soul and spirit, basically. It's just like, okay, maybe you work out every day to keep your body physically fit, or you drink enough water, or um, maybe you do some kind of activity to keep your brain sharp, like mentally strong. Spiritual practice is an activity an activity you do to keep your spirituality healthy and to keep you connected to your soul and your spirit. So and you'll probably soon understand what I'm talking about when I go through what kind of things I do to honor my spirituality. And you might be surprised that it's actually quite connected to keeping your body fit and healthy, and also mentally, that a lot of all of these things kind of intertwine into each other. So um I think even though you're not super spiritual, or you look at yourself as a spiritual person, or as a witch or a clairvoyant or a healer or whatever, you might find some of these practices quite helpful, and they will maybe also help you in other areas in life. Maybe you perform better as a runner by meditating daily, or maybe you are more focused on your work tasks when you honor your spirituality. So maybe just give it a go if you haven't tried this kind of practices. So, but as I said at the beginning, like I could have many episodes about this, and I will probably have it as well because it's so much to talk about. So today I'm going to focus about what what I do as a spiritual practice, a daily spiritual practice, and how I also wield it when life is stressful or I meet challenges that doesn't make every day as easy to have like a um, to have the same time every day, or yeah, same time amount every day. So and I'll give you my tips and tricks. So first of all, uh, as I said to my members in Sacred Circle, we talked a bit about how to have a daily spiritual practice when life is stressful and maybe difficult before Easter. And one of the main things that I recommend if you want to honor your spirituality is to have like a power space in your house, or at your office, or whatever, wherever you have time to kind of just honor your spirituality, your soul, kind of connect with spirit. So if you're watching this podcast episode on YouTube, you will see behind me, or if you've seen any live shows that I do on Instagram or Facebook as well, I have an altar, like an old cabinet behind me, where I put on my stuff, which gives me kind of a big connection to my spirituality. Like I have different things on my altar: candles, incense, some oracle cards, some crystals. And I have some paintings from beautiful angels that Heidi, which I'm going to give a tarot reading as well, has painted. And this is my power station. This is where I charge. You put the phone in like a phone charger. This is where this witch is charging. So um, I do my practice on this altar, and it doesn't need to be like a big table or a cabinet that I have. Like you can have it in at the bedside, in a bookshelf, on a shelf in the kitchen, in the bathroom, like wherever. It doesn't need to be a big ass witchy table. Like seriously, it just, it can be simple, and it can be filled with things that gives you joy, that makes you happy. Because that's the thing with spirituality, in my opinion at least, that by being spiritual, it gives me deep sense of joy and contentment. Like I'm really happy, and I'm really in place, present. I mean, by being connected to my soul and these kind of big questions in life, it makes me happy. It makes me more focused in other areas. So I think, well, the ultimate goal, no matter what you're doing, being spiritual or not, is to be happy, isn't it? So to be happy in life, with your family, with your friends, with your work, and to be happy with your body, to be happy with that you feel that you're at use for this world, that you're yeah, I think that's the ultimate purpose by having a spiritual practice. So these things behind me here on my altar, on my power space, it makes me happy. It reminds me of who I am, what I stand for. And I also change it with the seasons as well. Like sometimes I put picture of my family up there, and I change it with I follow the wheel of the year, being a witch. So I celebrate these 8 Sabbats, which I'm going to talk about in the next episode. Actually, when we're going to meet, going to talk about Beltane. So I'm going to talk more about that then. But I kind of, this is how I flow, how I follow Mother Nature, how I follow the wheel of the year, and it gives me such a deep joy. So this power space can be a really powerful way of kind of honoring your spirituality without having to use so much time. Well, you use some time decorating and setting it up, and you use as much time and details as you want. And actually, I have written a blog post about how you can set up your power space, and I'm going to link to that in my description of this episode. Actually, so you know, so you can give it a go and try it yourself. So that's one thing. Like just standing in front of this power space kind of makes me looking at crystals, looking at tarot cards. This kind of gives me like this sense of being connected, and it gives me great joy. So, but in a typical day, I start the day when I wake up lying in bed, and sometimes I just put my right hand over my heart, and I think of at least three things that I'm grateful for: of my children, of my partner, my family, that I can work from home, that I have a roof over my head, food in the cabinets, that I have clothes, that I live in a country with peace. I think about things that make me happy and that I'm deeply grateful for. Because by starting the day of being grateful, you kind of heighten your frequency, and it gives a good vibe, it gives a good start. So that's one, like being grateful is one of the, I think, one of the most important parts of my daily spiritual practice, and it really makes me happy. And likewise, in the evening, I also try to remember to have like, think about at least three things that I'm grateful for, especially in times of life when things are hard, difficult, when I'm tired, when I'm maybe depressed. Like we all have our ups and downs during our lifetime. So by focusing on things, and it doesn't, you don't need to be super spiritual or new age to practice, um, to be grateful. It's a really used, a lot of, it's a used term and a used technique in psychology as well. I remember coming back from Australia back in 2007. I had this kind of, it was back to reality. I don't, and I had this strange reaction by having some anxiety attacks. So I actually started talking to a therapist, and he told me to focus on what I was grateful for every day, small and big things every night. And it really changed everything. It helped me calm down, it helped me find happiness and balance again. So, and thankfully I have not had a lot of issues with anxiety since then. So it was a really useful tool for me. So spiritual or not, to be grateful is a really, really good technique, and it should be one of your ground pillars in your daily spiritual practice, in my opinion. And you can kind of interweave it into other practices as well, with your meditation, with your prayer, with whatever you want to do. So, or when you shuffle your cards, for example, I also thank the cards. Yeah. So I start the day by being grateful, like still lying in bed, and then being a mom for two small children and getting things like in a normal day. Still, Luna is home now, and we're kind of having a bit more easier day, but like normally it's a bit of a hustle in the morning, getting Kimi's going to work and Lucas in the kindergarten. So, but I start the day being grateful, and then do whatever we need to do with breakfast, get the kids to kindergarten. And then when I come back to my office before I work, I do some simple, like if I wake up early, I'd also do some simple, gentle physical exercise before I start the day, especially before I start the working day. So, and this can be whatever works for you. It can be yoga, it can be stretching, stretching exercises, or maybe you like to run. Like I do some exercises with a band. What's it called again? Just to strengthen my shoulders and neck, and I also do some squats, just to get some heat in my body and just to move some of my muscle groups. And I always do that before I start the working day and before I start to meditate, because it helps me to find more easily. I more easily settle when I have done some physical exercise before in first. So whatever works for you, stretching, running, doing whatever, like maybe some, and you could just vary this as well. Like I do it also for, I've had some issues with migraine, for example, headaches. So doing this, it's this rubber band exercise and stretching, it really helps me to focus, and I can sit longer writing and doing whatever I'm doing here at my desk. So I do that, and then I go in front of my power space, which I talked about earlier. And I will also link, as I said earlier, link to a blog post where you can check out how you can make your own power space. I've made some how you can go like step by step how to make your own power space. So just check the description of this episode wherever you're listening to the podcast or at my YouTube channel. So, or you can just visit my webpage as well. So, and then after I've done this physical exercise, I like to stand in front of my power space, my altar, as I call it. And then I set some simple intentions for the day. Okay. And I always do this before I work, and maybe, or sit down and start working, start answering emails, or start writing, or whatever I'm doing. And but I have in the back of my mind before I set the intention, okay, what am I supposed to do today? What is the most important thing? And then maybe I put that kind of into the intention, so I get more focused. I can ask my guide, my spirit guides, my angels, my elves, my dragon. And yes, I have a spiritual guide, a dragon called Elvarion. I'm going to talk about him in one episode, I think. And I asked them to support me. I called the corners, um, and I thank the god and goddess to help me keep focused. I connect with the elements. And this I kind of improvise a bit every day. I trust my heart, my intuition on what I want to call, on what I need to help me that day. And I kind of do a little prayer. I thank them for the support, and I thank them for that whatever task I'm doing that day, whatever meeting I'm having, whatever reading I'm doing, whatever podcast episode I'm playing, that it will be as it's supposed to be, and that I will be guided, I will be supported, I am protected, something like that. And then after I done that, I pull a oracle card or a tarot card, which I put on a little I have a little frame, or what's it called again? Well, I put it on my altar, so it stands there during the day. It's a card of the day with a message for me for that day. So and that card stays there until the next day, or till the next time I get to do it. So, and then I read the message, or I just reflect over the message from the tarot card. And then after I've done that, I sit down and meditate in front of my altar, my power space. Oh, and by the way, before I start, I forgot that. Before I start with the intentions and everything, I always light a candle. I really love to work with candles. It's something about the energy of the flame, and how that helps me focus. And it's also a kind of on and off button for when I work as well. So it helps me focus when the lights are on my power space in my office. It's okay, I'm working, I'm connected to spirit, I'm connected to my soul, to my heart, to my intuition. So that's also one kind of easy, quick thing to do to get connected. So, and after I done this, I sit down and meditate, and it really varies how long I meditate. Sometimes it's only 5 minutes, and other times it can be 40 minutes or something like that. So, mind you, now when I we have a little baby, she's only 5 months now soon. Oh my God, time flies. She's in 5 months. But it hasn't been as easy to get all this done. So this is like in a normal, typical day, like when having a little baby and life turned upside down. You kind of have to adapt and adjust and do whatever feels most important for you to do. But what I have really tried to do is to meditate as well, to be grateful, to focus on what I'm grateful for, to thank whatever guides, people, things in my life that make my life good and loving and happy. And also, I meditate. So, meditation is really like if you're super stressed and you don't think you have the time, you should meditate. You should meditate longer, because it is an investment in your health and in your time. Like you get so much more effective when you meditate. It helps you to focus your mind. Well, first of all, it helps you to relax the mind so you can get more focused after you're done. So I always meditate before I start working, even if it's just a couple of minutes. So, and it really helps me to get more focused. It's like, yeah, uh, especially if you're stressed and you have a lot to do, it really helps you, okay, to see and feel what you need to focus on. So, and it's so many different types of meditation forms. So, I'll have an own episode about meditation, I think, because it's so many different types of meditations you can do. Like I personally love to do guided meditations because it really helps me to kind of focus, just to focus on what is spoken, on the music, on the tale, on the mantras, whatever. So I really enjoy that. And if you haven't tried it, try this free app called Insight Timer, which is a lovely meditation app with so many different possibilities. Like you have this timer with ambient music, or you have many guided meditation or many nice music tracks that you can listen to. It also has some courses you can do, meditation courses or other kind of self-improvement courses, but those you have to pay for a premium, a little premium fee. But most of the content on Insight Timer is free, and you can donate to the creators if you want to. So just check it out. Like if you want to start meditate, Insight Timer is a perfect app. Yeah. And after I meditated, I give a little bow to my power space and thank my guides. And then I sit down and start working, get on with it. And maybe sometimes I do some journaling, quick journaling. Okay, what is the most important thing I need to do today? And maybe do some brain dump writing just to get some things out of my system and kind of plan the day as well. So, mind you, I also have some monthly planner and kind of a weekly planner as well. But this is the day to day work. Okay, what do I need to focus on now? How is my energy now? Um, what is important for me to work with today? How can I kind of plan my day? So, and having a little baby now, sometimes, okay, she's asleep, I need to record. So, and then I can do other stuff when she's awake, writing or whatever, um, uh, later. So sometimes you just need to adapt. So, but this is, as I said earlier, like this is how I usually wield my spiritual practice. And it might sound like a lot. And like I started really, I kind of built it up. This is what works for me and makes me really happy and content with my spirituality. This helps me focus, it helps me relax. This is me time. This is how I charge my batteries and get ready for the day ahead. So you do whatever helps for your practice. Like I love to do this in the morning. Maybe you like to take a break in the middle of your day, or maybe you want to have like some time to reflect and meditate in the evening. Like I haven't meditated much in the evening, like unless I'm having like a live with my membership group, Sacred Circle, or I'm on some kind of event. I usually prefer to meditate in the morning. Well, in a perfect world, it is uh, advice that you should meditate both in the morning and evening. So I hope to get there someday, but for now, I just focus on this morning routine before I start my day. It really works well for me. So, but whatever works for you. So this is what now you at least got some tips on what things you can do. Like you can start the day with being grateful, move your body a bit. Um, like do it, make it simple, just do some squats or some push-ups, or go for a quick walk, 10-minute walk, or something like that, just to move your body a bit, and then set some intentions for the day. Thank whatever you want to thank. Do your prayers to the gods or goddesses that if you believe in those, your guides. Meditate and plan the day ahead, and plan to make and to have a good day. Mm. So, and try it out. Try different things out. Maybe you find out, okay, this doesn't work for me, but this does. I need to do this, but not this. And uh, like, find your perfect practice and be flexible with life, because life has so many different things happen. uh, Maybe something happened with your relationship. Maybe it's a breakup. Maybe you enter into a new relationship, you have a baby, you meet some friends, you lose some friends, get a new job. Maybe you need to work on your lifestyle. It's like, it's so many things that can kind of uh, affect how your spiritual practice is. But what I have experienced is that if I, on a regular basis, really try to be consequent and have, on my good days, when I have time, when I have the possibility to do these things that I have talked about now, and do those daily, I am so much more uh, in place, in balance, harmonized. I feel much better and more confident when shit hits the fan, basically. Then, okay, then I can easier handle challenges in life. I easier handle stress, and I easier kind of improvise, and uh, I'm much more flexible and still connected to my soul, my spirituality, my heart, my intuition when life is hard, by having this regular practice, the other days that are good. So, and be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself if you can't have this regular practice in one part of your life. Like the first weeks, the first couple of months with Luna, our baby, I didn't get to do much at all. So I focused on things I was grateful for, because I could do that still lying down breastfeeding her. And I could focus on my breath, some kind of breath meditation. But I didn't get to pull much tarot and oracle cards. I didn't get to sit in front of this altar and meditate. But I did go into this room sometimes just to breathe and stand in front of my power space. So, but I didn't get to do all these things that I have talked about now. That's what happens on a regular day, every day, when things are kind of normal, if you can call it that. So be flexible and be kind to yourself, and don't think that you're a lesser spiritual person if you don't get to do all the things you planned. Like some days are like that, and yeah, then you get to give it another chance the next day. So whatever you can do then, and find the practice that really works for you. Okay, I think I've said all I wanted to say today about spiritual practice, and hopefully you will try it out. So check out my article on how to make a power space or your altar, because that's a beautiful place to start. And it's a really fun thing as well. So yeah. So if you want me to talk about, have an own episode on how you can build an altar, just let me know. Just send me some feedback on that. So yeah. But now I think I'm going to start to give Heidi uh, um, tarot reading. She wanted a general message from the cards. So I'm going to pull 3 cards for her. And yeah, I'm looking forward. So first I'm going to thank the cards. Dear tarot cards, thank you so much for all the wisdom and help that you have given so far. Know that your help and wisdom is only used for the higher good and to help other people as well as my self development. Please help me now to give a general message to Heidi and show her what she needs to know. Show what is true, good, and necessary for Heidi to know. Thank you. And I only read the cards the right way, not reversed cards. So that's how I practice with tarot cards. A lot of people, a lot of tarot readers, they read their tarot cards also reversed. and give it an additional meaning. I have never done that. Maybe I will in the future, but for now I only practiced reading them the right way. It doesn't mean that that is the only way, but yeah, it's how I practice. So I'm also planning on having an own episode about tarot in the future. So we'll see. I'll talk more about it then. Oh, and one card fell out, Heidi. So that's an additional meaning. So, but I'm pulling three cards as well first. So, okay, first card. You get the lovers. It's from the major arcana. So, love is in the air, and your connection with your partner is awesome. Or, yeah. So, Heidi is a friend of mine. So, I know that she has a husband. So, this is a really, really good card, Heidi, for you and your partner. So, love is in the air, and it's a deep and strong connection at this time. The second card, ooh, Six of Cups, a lot of other good feelings as well. Maybe you're looking back on some plans that you have had, and maybe you're being a bit melancholic as well, that you're looking back on memories at this time when you hear this episode. So, Six of Cups is kind of looking back maybe from when the children were small. I also know she has children, this is why I'm telling it. Or maybe you're looking back on your childhood as well, or at the first time when you met. Maybe you're planning on something. Oh yeah, I think it's that, it came to me now. I think maybe you're planning on some kind of like extra honeymoon, or honoring your maybe this, when you hear this episode, Heidi, that I don't know this, but maybe it's something about what happened when you and your husband first met. Maybe you're kind of looking back, memorizing, and thinking about what yeah, what happened then, how you met, how it was falling in love with him, and yeah. So honor that, and yeah, enjoy it, have fun with it. And the last card, it's a lot of emotions, Heidi. It's Page of Cups. So maybe you're kind of having a like a creative, like I think Page of Cups is a really a funny character. Like um maybe you're feeling that you need to have like a rebellious creative how to call it, that you want to be more active with your creativity. And with pages, it's always about messages in some kind of form, and learning also. So maybe you want to kind of learn more about your creativity. Like I know you're super talented with your paintings, because Heidi is the one that has painted these beautiful angels that I have in my office. So if you're watching the YouTube version of this podcast, you will see them at hanging on the wall behind me. So I know you're super talented, but maybe you want to learn a new technique as well. And another thing, in this card that I am using, I'm using my beloved tarot cats as usually. And on this Page of Cups, there is an eagle. And I think it's about something about getting the overview. Every time I see an eagle or a hawk, it's about getting the overview, looking at the bigger picture. So maybe it's a new technique you want to learn as well. And the extra card, the card that fell out while I was shuffling, is also a card from the Major Arcana. It's the Devil. So maybe you sometimes feel, I think this is um, a card to help you remember not to get. Um, yeah, okay, wait, I'm getting a message here. I think this is about not kind of holding yourself back. Maybe you are, because in this card as well, it's chains around the characters in the card, so you might feel bound to a situation. So, and I also know that you have some health issues, and that you're open about it, you want to help other people with it. And I think why this card came today in this specific reading, and at the moment that you hear this reading, Heidi, is please remember how powerful you are. You have the ability and the strength to break these chains, and yeah, to get ahead, get not over it. That sounded a bit, but to release yourself from beliefs that holding yourself back. Like maybe you are um that you don't believe you have the power or the ability to get through this challenge, but you've been through this, you've been through hell before, and I sure know that you will get through it again. So maybe there are some health issues now, and also something to do with your art as well. And this page of cups comes in and kind of reminds you to look at the big picture, and maybe you can learn some techniques and be a bit like with the page of cups. The way I've learned it, and the way when I have read cards with the page of cups, it's kind of, he's a bit of a rebellion, he's a bit of a like punk, he's eccentric and a really emotional, likes to do things in a completely new way. So maybe it's something you can do that's completely out of character from who you think you are or who you feel you are, and just do something a bit crazy. Try to like break loose, get something uh, by doing something completely different with your art, with whatever your everyday. Maybe it helps you to see things from a different perspective. And yeah, we're soon entering Beltane. In a week from now, it's when you listen to this episode, we're entering Beltane. And I think, and also it's a powerful new moon in Taurus on April the 30th. I think by working with this energy, this new moon, and the lovely Sabbath of Beltane, which is about fertility, creation, I think this will help you loosen up things, Heidi. So, but enjoy your love life. Like, really find support and know that your husband loves you deeply. Like these cards, you got the lovers, and it's a deep connection on soul level. And think about how you met, how kind of your relationship has built up, and maybe it's time to be a bit crazy. Like, you can be brave, you are safe, you are loved, you are worthy. So be a bit crazy, and try to think, do something a bit out of character. I think that will help you. So and I think this the devil kind of comes in to help you remember how powerful you are. You are not lost, or locked down to one situation forever. Everything is just temporarily, so things will change. Okay, I think that's what I wanted to say to you, Heidi, and thank you so much for sending your request. It's always fun to give readings to friends as well. So, and to you listening, please know that you can send me a request for a free tarot reading, and maybe I pick your question. And if I do pick your request, I will let you know which episode it comes into. Okay, thank you so much for listening about how you can have a daily spiritual practice. Always fun that you're listening. Please give me a review on if you liked what you hear, and please follow my podcast. And on the next episode, next Friday, I'm going to talk about the pagan festival of Beltane. Okay, until then, have a magical week and a magical day. Bye.